Hi, I'm Namita Ramani, founder of Above Digital, and you're listening to Successful Marketing for Small Business Podcast. The purpose of this podcast is to help other entrepreneurs and business owners learn from successful businesses on what to do to keep their dream ventures alive. According to a study done by Shikhar Ghosh of Harvard Business School, 75% of the venture-backed businesses fail. Articles referenced in Entrepreneur Magazine or Forbes.com or Tech.com state that 6 to 8 out of 10 businesses fail within the first 18 months. This is a staggering number. I still remember my days of being a startup and a solopreneur, wearing almost every single hat possible and trying to keep the business living as well as paying my own living expenses. It was hard. I have always been a self-learner, self-taught, believed in having mentors and listening to different podcasts and books to help keep my business going. Every time people shared their experiences, positive or negative, I would take that learning and try to apply that to my business. And that has helped me a lot to keep the business going. It's been 15 years and Above Digital is a successful and a still growing company. This is the reason I wanted to bring this podcast to Dubai, here where I live, my home, and there are equally amazing successful stories of other entrepreneurs that I would like to share with you all. Welcome to the show, and today I have a very, very, very special guest, Saad Umerani. Saad is a co-founder and CEO of Protein Bakeshop, a Dubai-based healthy snacks company, which they founded in 2014. He's a founding partner at Enabling Future, a Dubai-based venture capital company that makes seed and early-stage investments in companies in the US and the MENA region. Some of their notable investments include Cowler, Thrive Market, Aspiration, Alim Health, and Protein Bakeshop. He's a former technology and social entrepreneur, and he founded 2 fintech software programs which add efficiency to banks' lending and KYC processes in the Middle East. The software is currently used by 40 banks in the region and is owned by his family business, Value Strat. Saad, thank you so much for accepting my invite and coming for the show.
Thank you for having me.
Pleasure. And I can't wait to hear your story, by the way, and for our audience also to hear. So with the bachelor's degree that you got in engineering from Canada, why did you choose to come back? Why didn't you stay back there and start something there like most of the other people do?
Actually, that's what the plan was. My family was encouraging me to stay there. If I stayed there a few more years, I would have actually gotten the passport. Yeah. And that's what the plan was. But to be honest, I couldn't do my own laundry. It's very hard. Like my clothes shrink and you're not used to it. Yeah, I'm serious. I'm really serious.
Hire people.
Not being a Dubai kid grown up here.
Spoiled, yeah.
The opportunity cost is too high.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, that hours spent there can be spent doing something better. I didn't see much opportunity in Canada, to be honest. It's not a city where a lot is happening. It's not a city or a country, I'd say, where there is a lot of... It's where people are really calm and relaxed.
You were very close to the US. There's a lot of things happening
there. But I didn't know anything there. I didn't study there. I didn't have any inroads there. My family was back here. And I didn't want to do engineering after I finished. Because engineering, you get into something very specific. Like you're a specialist in civil, and also within civil, you're in residential, and also in residential, not low-rise or high-rise, and urban. You're very specialist. And I really didn't know what I wanted to do. Engineering, I did it because it opens your mind up to many, many, many things.
That was your choice or not your family choice?
I had only 3 choices. You do law, or you become a doctor, or you become an engineer.
That's it. All Indian and Pakistani families.
I mean, you become a lawyer. It's good social status. You become a doctor. You get good marriage proposals. You become an engineer. You get good jobs, and that's the only thing that matters, right? So it was between the 3, and I took engineering.
Okay. If not engineering, what would you have done?
Actually, I always liked law, but the reason I couldn't do law, I think, was because I never liked reading.
There's a lot of studying and memorizing.
Yeah. I was always good at deriving. I was always good at math. And so engineering worked for me. And it was the best decision I made because it really opened my mind up to a lot of different things. So I'm glad I did that. And then I came back here because I didn't see... I mean, everybody there would just get into these jobs and stuff. And I realized my family also has a business here. My dad has already gone from A to B. Why should I also spend 15 years going from A to B when I can just go from B to C?
E.
Yeah, B to E, B to D. I already have a platform. I should be using that in some way.
So what does your family do? What is the family business?
My family is primarily into consulting and technology business. We are like the back end of all the banks. There's a company my family has called Strat. Strat is management consulting. So everything, for example, there's the big consulting guys, right? McKinsey and Bain, and their prices are like $1 million plus. Yeah. And then you have the PwC, Deloitte and stuff. Their projects are probably like $600,000, $500,000 plus, if not more, right? Then who does everything below $500,000? Because there's a lot of families, a lot of smaller businesses, a lot of middle-sized businesses that need consulting, but don't want to pay $1 million, right? Yeah. So Strat was a mid-market, covers that whole gap in the mid-market. And then we also do valuation work. So if you're buying a car or a house, the bank wants to know what's the value of this property. So if you default, they want to sell it. They want to know what's the price.
Isn't that the software that you made?
That's a software I made, but that was a service line. So the software helped do that better. But that already existed. We've been doing it for 40 years now.
Okay.
And it had a research arm and had an asset divestment arm where we helped companies sell assets. So if you were a company, the bank financed you, defaulted, you want to sell the asset, we help them sell it. Or you're getting new machinery, you want to sell your old machinery, we help you sell it.
So you were born in a venture capitalist company.
It's not venture capitalist, it's entrepreneurs from my grandfather to my father. And then we have two other businesses, one is in Pakistan and one is also here. But the primary one is the consulting business.
So your father is also very highly educated? Is he also an engineer or something?
My father was studying computer science in George Washington.
How cool is that? In that generation, to study and invest in education is like a...
And then what happened is that my grandfather passed away. So my dad at a very young age had to leave in his last year and come back to Pakistan to support the family. His younger brother was studying also in George Washington. And so he didn't even finish. And he had to come back and then start everything from scratch again at that age, 20, 21 years old. I mean, it's very tough. Yeah. At least I had support of my father who's behind me. I knew I can't fall. There's always a safety net there. Yeah. And so I jumped from a building, but I knew I wouldn't fall. Yeah. But he knew that he could fall. Yeah. So I think that's a real entrepreneur, I probably am an entrepreneur, but still have sort of come from a family, you're still safe in a way,
Yeah.
I don't put everything on the line.
We are born in a business family. Yeah. So same thing with my dad, he's a businessman. And I think this value, this net, like knowing that if I fall, there's always back home. Mm. It kind of helps in taking bigger risk.
100%, that's what I did. That's exactly what I did. So I had a platform, but I'm quite happy to say I used that to its maximum potential.
And how did you get into, so the venture capital, the company that you have, which is Enabling Future, that is your company?
Yes. So
you started that company?
I started that company, yeah. Actually, what would happen was that when I was working with the family, I stumbled upon a software that helped bring efficiencies into what we were already doing. So it wasn't something new that we were doing, it was just exactly what we were doing, but just added efficiencies that made us better than the rest. Yeah. So how do you differentiate in a business is when you can provide some value proposition, price advantage, time advantage, and the software will allow you to do that. So that differentiated us from everybody else. But being in a family, it's always tough because you never get to touch the money, right? I mean, you're always the kid, and you're always like, you ask for money to you don't ask for money to fly business class. You say, can I have money? I want to experiment. I want to buy this. I want to do. You're young. You want to try new things, but this money is always hard to reach because your family controls it, and everything is yours.
But it's not actually yours.
I mean, at the end of the day, when you're 50, it's yours, but you want it now.
Correct.
So I decided what I really enjoyed was building things. Mm-hmm. And so venture was the right place for me because I built technology. Slowly, I got into the space. I started meeting new people who were doing new things. And so gradually went there and I said, I want to do venture and invest in startups.
Where did you start meeting these people who are doing new things? Because back in the days, the startup business was not very big at that time, in this market at least. Yeah. It's now that it's picking up.
Yeah, that was what you call the initial days, early days where there's a couple of people just...
Couple of people.
A few,
you can count them
you can count
hand.
them. Yeah. And it was a very small...
How did you come across that?
The same way you're an entrepreneur and you come across me, right? It just happens. Like when you start doing things, you start meeting people in that space organically. It's not like a way that, you go online, you go to xyz.com and you apply. It's not. You just start meeting a lot of people in this space because you start getting into it yourself, right? Whether it's through events or whether it's through introductions or whether it's through random, because you hang out at the same spots or whatever is happening. You start meeting these people. It's quite organic. I couldn't say how I met them, to be honest. There was a lot of people
just connections and being at the right place at the right time.
And then you start investing, and then people hear, there's very few people who invest, and these guys are one of them. Let's meet. So we met a lot of people at the very early days. Yeah.
So that was actually my next question on investing. So how do you choose to invest in a business? What is a you look for? That this is the business I want to invest in.
So when I first started investing, I used to look for product, right? And I think that was the biggest mistake.
Really?
Yeah. It's the
Then
biggest
you should
mistake.
look for?
You should look for people. Because I think, now on the hindsight, I think that bad people can't sell a good product. But good people can sell a bad product, right? And I come to think of this, and I think about a lot of things around us, right? And they're very simple, basic things, right? Like, I mean, think about like laundry box. It's a laundry company. Yeah. And what's so special about it? Really nothing. Like, okay, they put an app. An app you can make it in 10,000 dirhams in India. What is it? It's a booking app, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's an example. It's a very, very basic business. But the guys running it have such a great vision and passion that we want to be the only laundry company that's going to be in Dubai. And they have the ability and the drive to achieve that. If you look at Protein Bakeshop, we make protein balls. Essentially, you can make them in your kitchen, right? Yeah. I mean, it's nothing like, oh my God, it's coming from Mars that it's a couple of ingredients that's at the back of the box. We mix those ingredients and we make a protein ball. So it's not like I'm winning because I have the best protein ball that nobody else can make. It's because Rashi is fantastic. I love my product. I'm very hardworking. She's awesome. And the two of us, with our investors, of course, and with our team, our sales guys are fantastic. My sister works for me. I have a guy who's working with Munchbox. His name is Aman. My investors, they boost your morale. They're with you. Yeah. And this team is something that has an energy about it that attracts people, that people want to work with, that people want to associate with. It's not that protein ball, right? I mean, you remember from the back days, we had this brown bag. Yeah. It was a brown paper bag. And now the boxes are like, oh my God, these boxes are fantastic, yeah, right? But people invested at that time. People invested in that brown bag. But what were they looking at, right? They were just like, this team is good. These guys, these people, they know what they know that they will go the full mile. And even if they fail, we know that they will go all the way. And that's what people really want to know, And I think that at that time when I started investing, I was investing in products. And later on, I started investing in people. You can have the most basic idea, but if the team is good, they will really, really make it happen. I truly believe so.
I truly believe so as well, because it's the team, is the people that can keep the clients. Like, we believe in the same concept.
Look at Salt Burgers, right? It's a burger. Yeah. Like, what's so special about it? Like, oh yeah, because people now say, yeah, this is a burger, this meat. It's a burger, If I keep like 100, you'll probably be confused which one is which. But it's just the team behind that Salt Burgers that has the ability to execute, whether it's the branding or the service levels or the menu choices or the social media, whatever, everything together. It's all that team that brings it, and they made Salt, a burger company, so big. Now, is that burger like, oh my God, like from another planet and nobody else can? No, it's a burger.
Yeah, it's just the concept and the people behind it. Absolutely true. So, what is one advice you would give to a business who's looking for investment to do? Is to be really passionate before you look out for investment, maybe, as per our conversation?
It's a very tough question, I don't know really how to answer that. It depends from business to business. One business might be doing one thing right, but one thing wrong, and then they need to work on that one thing.
There'll always be something wrong.
Yeah, exactly.
That you have to fix.
So it kind of depends, right? It kind of depends. A lot of people I've met recently, I'm just advising them that, listen, you got to, for example, not ask for funding, and you'll get funding. Because when you ask too much, right, people lose faith. Yeah, lose value. And when it's something is like, no, I don't want it, be like, no, now I want it. It's just psychology.
Making
right?
things scarce, like the scarcity principle wins.
Yeah, absolutely. Just say,
limited time, unavailable,
they don't want it, but I want it because it's so cool, and then they're chasing you, like. So it's different things that different, like positioning, like branding, sometimes. But there's very, very different things that different businesses require when they're looking for funding. One thing I would say is that if you can do it long time without funding, then do it without funding.
Better to do your own investment. Well, there's a big wave of startups and incubators in Dubai, at least. There's In5, There's a Sharjah Entrepreneurship Center where they are incubating these businesses, creating these platforms for startups to come and launch their apps and stuff, giving mentoring. There's a big hype now, and everybody's talking about seed. I remember I went for a networking event the other day, and they're saying, "Oh, I've invested in this golf product, and I've done the first stage seeding." And the way they talk is like they are buying fruits and vegetables, investing in businesses. Oh, we buy 10, 15, maybe one will click. Maybe one will click. This has become like people have too much money.
It's lottery. Then
Isn't that
that is a lottery. That you're buying into a lottery, right?
Yeah.
I'll buy 15 tickets, maybe one will click. It's just not a lottery business, you know. People want to get into it for the wrong reasons. They think overnight they'll become billionaires. It's not going to happen, man. If you're trying to play a lottery game, it's never going to happen. People who are good will keep doing it again and again and again and again because they know what they're doing, you know. I mean, again, I don't know why I come back to salt, right? But like salt, success, Parker's, success, the same team.
Yeah, same team.
Right? Same team, same like little bit of different burger, truffle burger, non-truffle burger, success, right? Because they're focused. They're not saying, oh, let's set up like 20 burger companies, and then hopefully 2 will be a hit. No, they just keep going hit after hit after hit. You know, they know what they're doing.
Yeah.
So who people who are playing the lottery game, they have the wrong intentions. They're doing it for vanity. Right? I invested there and I invested there. So ask them the right questions. Say, okay, so how much revenue did that company make last month? And they, this doesn't matter. No, it matters. Tell me. Or if it's a company that's like for an app, how many users do they have? If you ask them the right questions, they start shaking. Because they did it for the wrong reason. They did it so they can go to a networking event and say, oh yeah, I invested in that company, I invested in this company, and I did this and I was okay. And what is their turnover for the last month? Nobody wants to answer those questions.
What else should we ask?
Ask it. I mean, depends on your business. So if you're a Protein Bakeshop, you should ask, what was their revenue last month? How many points do they sell at? Right? And if I say the revenue was 2 million dirhams last month, you know, okay, this is very serious. Right? If you say that, I said 2,000 points in Dubai, I said like maybe 700. That shows you that this is really serious business. If I was a mobile app, I would say, how many users do you have? You know, and they say, we have 100,000 active users.
Yeah.
That's, for me, impressive. Wow, this is serious business. But nobody talks about that. Nobody talks about that.
It's become fashion to invest.
It's a fashion now. It's a majlis talk. You go, you hang out with your friends. I invested in this company. How much are you going to $5,000, $2,000? What value are you adding to them? What value? You just want to show off.
Is there a particular advice you'll give to businesses who are looking to eventually maybe get funding? First, rightly you said, like, try to do yourself, try to reinvest your earnings back in the business. But if you're still looking for funding, what are the things they should work on to make sure that things are at par before going out and looking for funding?
So the first thing is that not all money is the same, right? So if you are a food business, Saad's money is more valuable than Namita's money. Right? So my $1,000 is more valuable than your $1,000. Clear? If you're a digital business, your $1,000 is more valuable than my $1,000.
Correct.
Right?
Yeah.
So first of all, not all money is the same. So don't go looking, like scouts, knocking doors, give you money. Right? The other thing is, know where you are. I'm at A, right? Let's say A is 1 million dirhams. I need to get to 10 million dirhams. I know I can. I will get there by hiring 5 more people, by building this product, by doing this much marketing. And when I add the numbers up, I get 100,000 dirhams. So if I had 100,000 dirhams, I can go from 1 million to exactly 10 million by investing the 100,000 into these things. Once that plan is clear, then go to the investors and talk to them. People also just want to raise so they can say, I raised. It's great, right? I raised from MVP. It's for the entrepreneur's vanity, for the investor's vanity that they invested in, and the metrics are completely wrong. Like you ask an investor, I invested in that golf company, and this other billionaire invested, and that other 100 million, the owner of that invested. But who cares? Right? Who cares? What is that company doing? Is that nobody talks about it. Nobody wants to talk about it. They get nervous, but neglect the question. And then I just feel like, okay, fine, I know why you did this. they get intimidated, and I think that to raise, you need to raise with the right people who will add value to you, who will help you get your goal faster. You need to raise for the right reasons. It's because your company doesn't have the money to get there, I think businesses that have cash flow need to plan better, so they might not need to raise. Why do you want to raise? Who likes to have 50% of businesses have 100 if it's a good business? It should be the last resort, not the first one. Right now, it's
become the first resort. Everybody wants to
yeah.
raise money, I think, to prove someone else or to prove themselves. I can raise money, or I have a product, or it's I think America was, I think USA was in this kind of a zone 5, 6 or maybe 10 years back. Now we are kind of experiencing that here.
It's a very
Silicon Valley
it's a very
thing
different thing, right? I mean, for example, I said to Starbucks, just that metric will boggle your mind. There's 200 Starbucks in the UAE. There's 15,000 in the US. So you can even see the scale difference, right? So the valuation should match that. Yeah. So same company that should be valued at 200 here should be valued at 15,000 there. I mean, just a comparable metric. True. Yeah, no, it's not. The valuations are of there, and the market is of here. There has to be...
Well, I mean, depends where if the company is looking for funding here, then this value will apply, and if you're looking for there, are they the same?
The values are of the US.
They are valuing themselves as a US base, but they're actually based out of Dubai, so it doesn't apply, right? Yes. But what is that one metric that a company should negotiate with an investor, for sure? So until now, we've been talking about investors looking to invest in businesses and how people should pitch to investors and all that. But now, for example, somebody is interested in investing in my company. So what is that one metric that I should negotiate with the investor, for sure, to protect myself or to safeguard myself or to, where most companies fail to look into? And because you've got investment in funding in so many different things and you do that, you would know probably.
Touch wood, mine has been such a great experience. I mean, everybody I raised from is actually friends and family. And they're so close, we hang out all the time. They pick up the phone and call me and say, what's going on? They usually don't call me and say, they usually go to a restaurant, or cafe or gym. I say, how's this doing? I say, sir, doing good. And that's enough for them, Selling, okay, good. But my investors have been a great bunch, really. They've been so supportive, and I couldn't ask for anything more. But now there is already a lot of work done on these term sheets that are there, right? Yeah. Safe notes. They protect the entrepreneur as well as the investor to a certain extent, where the investor does a safe note, for example, doesn't have a say in your daily operation of your business on a board level. Yeah. But if your business goes down, you're supposed to pay them first. So it protects them in a way, and also protects you in a way, right? So there are already a lot of these contracts that are quite standard out there that protect both sides, and they continue to evolve.
It's better to go with the lawyer?
There's standard contracts, standard safe notes. You can go to Y Combinator's website, download the safe note from there and use it. It's quite standard. Yeah.
Is there a particular course that you can take to learn all these investing and all those things? Because it's a little foreign to me. I'm myself looking in, not for investing in our business, but investing in other businesses. And trying to read many books and stuff to learn how to, I don't know if I should say play the game or.
I think doing it is the best way.
Yeah, just start investing in the first one and then see what happens.
See what happens. Yeah.
And then take it from there.
Exactly. Yeah.
How does your mind work when it comes to analyzing, predicting, or charting revenue growth for a business that you want to invest in?
It's quite clear, actually. I mean, for a business I want to invest in. So a business I don't think has ever hit what it projects at seed level, like ever. Especially at that time, So those numbers are really not to say, hey, but in your presentation you said 5 million, but you were at 4, so why is there 20? It's not for that purpose. You're a bad investor. It's just to show you how big the business can potentially be, right?
In 5 years?
In whatever years you plan for, 3 years, 1 year. I mean, at seed stage, even if you can show me 2 years, it's fine, But that number is not that every month you should say, oh, I told you 1, now I'm at 1.5. It's not for that. It's just to show you what the growth can potentially be like, right? So I can come to you and say Protein Bakeshop because I know that better, and I can give you an example. I say, okay, I have 1 spinneys, and that 1 spinneys does 2,000, and there's 10 spinneys, let's say. So if I can get all the 10 spinneys, I can do 20,000. But to get to those 10 spinneys, I need 1,000 dirhams, right? So I think I can get those spinneys in 3 months. That could be 4, that could be 2. But it's clear that the investor will see the potential that, okay, wow, if one space can do 2,000, every space can do 2,000, that means that there is a potential to do 20.
The calculation makes sense.
It does make sense, right? And I do revenue projections for my own business, and they're based on the experience of the market and the other countries that I operate in. I have an idea, right? And they get more and more accurate as you grow and you have more and more information. But at a very early stage of a business, it's very, very hard to predict or project that. It's just so you know, for example, you're in a digital business, you can say, okay, I can manage a social media for 5,000 dirhams. I'm just throwing a number, and I have 10 clients right now. That's 50,000. If I can get 3 salespeople, I can get 200 clients. I can get 500,000. For those 3 salespeople, I have to pay 20,000 dirhams a month. 60,000 dirhams a month is 3 salespeople. I need 600,000 dirhams for the year. Give me that money, I'll get you 500,000. Yeah. Okay, this makes sense.
So know your numbers. Play with the numbers.
You have to. And based on the past, it's good to show the investors what you can potentially do. And a lot of businesses really, really change completely. Like when we raised funding, we were a bakery with 32 products. Now we're FMCG with 6 SKUs, 6 flavors of one product. Yeah. So, I mean, the investors, they didn't come back to me and say, oh, but I invest in a company with 32 products, but now why is it 6? I still want 32. You know, it's not that. It's they know that these guys are so good that they will keep changing when they see a problem in their business. They will change the business model. So you will say people are not paying 5,000. Okay, no problem. Get 200 clients for 2,500 each.
As long as we match the numbers.
As long as you...
Or exceed the numbers, or it's going in the right way.
It's going whatever. That's your answer. As long as it's going in the right way, you're fine, right? And investors don't chase you for that. They actually expect you to completely change your business model because you are also learning, because it's innovation. It's something very new, usually that's not been done before. They know you will learn, you know? So it's all about that. It's also about the right investors. You know, if you have like a couple of individuals never done investing before, it's a nightmare to work with. Really, it's a nightmare because they won't get it. But if you have a couple of people done starters with understand, not only will they accept and understand, they'll also add value and tell you what you're doing wrong and what you should be looking at.
What one kind of investor you should never work with? What one question that investor would ask and you should know that that's it, this is not the investor I want to work with, or have him invest in my company? Because now seems like that's the next important question. Because if I have investors invested and if they sit and ting, 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 like, you know, kind of keep questioning and nagging, if you're not reaching the numbers or we're changing the stuff, then that's a bad business. That's a bad hand. That's a bad partnership.
I think you have to spend a lot of time with them to see if you would hang out with them on a weekend. And if you say, I know there's somebody I can hang out with, then take the money.
Do you hang out with investors?
All of them. All of them. I have had fun with them. I have gone to clubs with them. I have gone to parties with them. You know, I have chilled with them. I've called them when I'm low and said, I'm coming, man. I'm not okay. They say, yeah, come, I'm ordering pizza. Come on. And I'll show up. They're my friends. One of them is my business partner, Hubert is Enabling Future. He's my investor. One of my closest friends, Gaurav, is my investor. One of my friends, Yusuf, you know, we met Yusuf. I went to California before I was fundraising for Protein Bakeshop. I stayed at his house. He said, come stay at my house. I stayed at his house. And so, you know, we hung out a lot and we became very close. We became great friends. I knew I could go to this guy for advice. So, I mean, it's the money, yes, but it's the guy that I want. And a lot of people told me, Saad, we want to invest. Especially now that Protein Bakeshop has been seen, people say, like, oh, what have you invested in? People say Protein Bakeshop. Oh, really? I want to talk to you. So it's become a vanity investment, right? Yeah. And that's when a lot of people want to get in. Because they want to say, I'm an investor in this company.
It's becoming like I'm an investor in Uber. And I'm an
investor in Uber, yeah.
You're becoming a brand, which is
You're becoming
great.
a brand,
Congratulations,
exactly. But I said no to a lot of people. I said no. A lot of people said no to me at that time.
Now it's my turn.
No, but even then I said no to people. When I needed the money, I said no to people. I said, no, man. Yeah, because it wasn't a fit. I knew these guys would be a bigger pain to deal with, you know what I'm saying? And I didn't want pain. There's enough pain I have in the startup. There's enough pain I have of growth and operations and hiring. I don't want one more guy sitting on my head and saying, give me investor reports. I don't have time for investor reports. You know, I don't have time for investor reports, really. I call them, I said with them, I tell them, and that's it. It spends weeks to make an investor report, and if you're going to do that,
Then when we'll run the business?
so that's my answer, and people appreciate that. They see it. They call me and say, what's going on? I said, my revenue was this last month, now is this, and we were in 6 countries last month, now we're in 8. See you. And they say, okay, that's enough for me to know. It's going in the right direction. So I think that's very important. I would take money of my friends.
What other investments would you like to do apart from investing in businesses? What are your other favorite types of investment? Real estate or stocks?
No, businesses.
Only businesses.
Yeah.
This is a different game altogether, isn't it?
So I have invested now in another company. Not invested, become part of it. I invested time and vision into, it's called Melange, and do unhealthy snacks.
It's opposite of protein.
It has to be, because I realized that in the whole week, right, you have 5 days where you're eating healthy, and in 2 days you're cheating, right? So I'm losing the customer on 2 days.
Really?
Why should I?
I think
I'm greedy. I want the whole week. I want to be in your life every day. If you cheat, it's me, and if you eat healthy, it's me. That's it.
That's a different way to look at it. Yeah, that's a different kind of.
And so I got into it very early. The girl's name is Nadia. She was doing cakes. And I said, Nadia, let's do this together. She was very kind. She said, yeah, let's do it. I would love to work with you. We work together. We fight a lot. And like Rashi and I, we fight a lot. But it's all for the right reasons. It's like, okay, I want to go from Dubai to Abu Dhabi. She said, no, let's go from Jumeirah. I said, no, man, too many traffic lights, speed. I want to go from Sheikh Zayed. And then there's a fight. But we both know the fight is for the right.
That we all want to go to Abu Dhabi.
We all want to go to Abu Dhabi.
Which route should we take? That's
yeah. So it's a positive fight. So you know she's fighting.
I understand.
Because she thinks that'll get us there faster. And I'm fighting because I think that'll get me there faster or better. Yeah. And then she said, no, get this to the speed limit. I said, listen, pay the 500. We should get there faster. Forget it. I'm speeding. So now that is a conversation that's actually fighting, but it's for the right reasons. Right? And that understanding, that respect has to be there.
So how did Protein Bakeshop happen? We want to hear the story.
Protein Bakeshop, actually, Rashi started. She started in her kitchen with her houseboy. He used to make these truffles and cookies and everything, and all her clients, mostly Indians, Pakistanis.
I was one of them.
I was one of them. Said, listen, I can eat all of this, egg whites and whatever, and no rice and no bread, but I need sweet. And so she started giving me these truffles and said, eat this. It was very expensive back then, but if you can afford nutritionists, you can afford truffles.
Yeah, $35, I remember.
$55.
55, okay.
55, yeah. And I said, Rashi, man, this needs to be a business. There has to be proper outlets. You need to do this municipality approvals and get the business registered. And she said, listen, man, this is not my job. Like, I'm a product person. I can make you the best product in the world, but it's all business and hiring and office space. And I don't understand all of this. So I tried to advise her for 1 year, and she would just be like, okay, nothing would happen. Because she was so busy in her own job. She's nice. She's like booked like for 4 months and 9 to 6 and no time. Yeah. So one day I got really, really upset at her. And one of my friends, Amir, was there, and he said, you should help her. I said, you know what? That's it. Your business, part of it is mine. I'm going to run it. Thank you very much. I'm going to go ahead. I'm making all the decisions. Bye. and she's like, okay. And that was it. There was no contract. There was no signing. There was just trust between two friends. And that was the day I became a part of it. And then 1 year after that, I raised money. We run as a hobby on the side. I had my full-time job in Enabling Futures. I had a full-time job at her clinic. And as a side, we were just doing this like cookies business and chocolates. And then Aziz, who's my lead investor, he got this product and he sort of met me and he said, Saad, please. He was the MD of General Mills. General Mills, they have, I think, half the grocery. They have Haagen-Dazs, they have Nature Valley, they have Cheerios, they have a couple of products, and he said, you should run this full time. And I said, man, but this is like chocolates business and I'm a venture capitalist. It's not sexy enough. Come on. Yeah. People want to be my friends. I'm ventures, MVC. He said, no, listen, this really has legs. You should really run it. It's a great business. And I would tell you, what's the plan? I made a plan for him. And he was the one who actually encouraged me to do it. I was thinking about it. I was on the cusp. I said, should I do it? Should I do it full time? It's a hobby, but I don't know. But I met him, and he really encouraged me. And he wrote the first check of $100,000. I was like, okay, wow, shit is real. And then I called a couple of my friends. Rashi called a couple of her friends. Said, look, we're doing a funding round. Do you want to be a part of it? And they all said, dude, if you both run it, we are in. And so that was it. And stuff got real, I guess. And that's almost like in January it'll be 2 years.
Just 2 years. It's not...
No, less than 2 years now, yeah.
It feels like forever you've been running Protein Bakeshop. Since I know you, it's been Protein Bakeshop. So it feels like I know you for 5-6 years now.
Yeah, it's been literally 1 year, 9 months, 1 year, 10 months. My first salary was Jan 2018. It was just 15,000 dirhams when I started, my monthly salary. And investors were happy about it. I wasn't very happy about it, but that was my commitment to the business. That, till we don't reach break even in our first milestone, I will not increase it. And investors like that, They said, wow, this guy was earning probably like north of like 4 or 5 times what he's earning now. And now this guy is taking just 15K to run this company. This guy really believes in it. He's going to take a cut on his lifestyle. I moved back with my parents. And
that's how much you believed in this.
Yeah, absolutely. That was the dedication I showed my investors. I said, look, this is my salary, man.
But what about your other business? They were still running, right?
So those businesses have CEO. There's just investments. They just send you investor updates. You ask them questions, and they
don't send you money. They do send you funds, right?
For what?
Dividends, whatever. When the company is making money, doesn't come. Nothing comes.
Don't send dividends. Startups don't sell. Startups make money only when they sell.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, they don't make money in dividends. They put it back. It's all about fast growth. That's what it is.
Okay.
So it's like us. We're 7 countries in 2 years. We want to be in another 7 in the next few months. So we already have that list ready. So, for example, Saudi want to be in, Indonesia. We want to be in these countries. We will be. There's no question.
I think globally, very soon.
Yeah. We want to be. So it's all about, we take the money and put it back in and increase value for all our investors. They don't want to take 5,000 dirhams a month. They're like, listen, take it to a couple of 100 million. Let's sell it. Let's all have a nice party. I said, okay. So that's really the investor vision. So you have to hold back and just get updates and see what's going on. But you can't really have a hands-on impact into those particular businesses. You just have to sit back and sort of watch the ride and trust the guy running. And that's why I said people are important. You got to trust the guy running it. So those are running. And
so you move back to your parents and you show the investors this trust that I can do this.
And 1 year later I did. So 7 or 8 months later we were cash flow positive. And that's a big deal for a startup. But that cash flow positive while growing the way we were. So it wasn't that I'm cash flow positive, but I stopped my growth to be cash flow. It wasn't that. That was not the case. We were still growing, but cash flow positive and still growing, right? And so there was, investors weren't saying, like, you said you're going to grow this much, but you don't when you're making cash. What would I do with the cash? I still have a salary today. I can't take it home. I don't want to take it home. None of us want to take it home. So the deal was, what are you doing with this cash? And so putting it back into marketing. So that's why you see us on checkouts. That's why you see us on gondolas. That's why you see us doing this event and that, because we're taking the cash, we're putting it back in. I have a salary. I'm not here to pull money from the business. They know my new salary, and they all are fine with it. Because it's also important to keep the CEO happy, because if he's making 15K, he's probably looking for side businesses to do and waste time and to make some income here and there. They want him to make enough so he doesn't have to think about doing side stuff. For me, it's a hobby businesses, so I always ask my investors, I'm going to do this small business, and I'm going to have fun with it, and they say, that's your hobby, just do it. Some people like driving cars, I like doing business.
It's a good hobby.
It's a good hobby, I enjoy it.
Intellectual hobby, smart hobby, make some money hobby. It's the best hobby you should have.
Yeah, I think so too.
So when it comes to marketing, what did you try and what worked and what didn't work for Protein Bakeshop or for other ventures, whatever you would like to share? Because the podcast is successful marketing for small businesses. So I would love to know your marketing strategies.
So we tried a million things. Some worked, some didn't work. It's very hard to say when you look back what really worked.
Because the mix of everything worked.
Some of everything just worked, right? So definitely, for example, the product was great marketing itself. People tried it, the taste was like, wow, right? So before people tried, the packaging was, I think, a really good hit for us. It was the colors, the style.
The simplicity. Just the ingredients is enough to decide, yes, I want to eat this now.
So the ingredients, the box, the product, the social media. I think the pricing helped us, right?
When it came down to 15, 18 now, I don't think, I just have to pick it up.
The pricing.
55 would make me think, chalo, let's have one box. Now I have to do 3 boxes.
Yeah. And if you buy online, in case of 10, it's 15, you know. So that helped us. The cases that we started selling.
The pricing strategy.
Pricing really helped us. I think Starbucks really helped us. Social media, Google, Facebook, Instagram. So we were doing multiple things at the same time. And it's very hard for me to now look back and say, oh, you know what, this helped us.
It's all combination. In advertising, 80% you don't know from what is working, 20% from where we don't know. We have to invest the other 80% to make
But we gave everything equal importance, and we gave everything equal time, and we really like...
And you're still doing that?
Absolutely. But
Still
now we
using
know
everything.
what's working, right? Now we can measure what's working.
What's working? Digital?
Digital is really working. Digital really works.
You know, it's amazing. I still have to prove to people and give them money back guarantees, and still they don't take action. I wonder, when would you take action? Like, what would it take for a business to know digital is the way? I don't know.
No, I think it's quite easy, right? I think, I mean, I don't mean to advise you in any way. You know better than me. But what works for me, I'll share with you, is that when you put 10,000 dirhams on Facebook, and you can show me the cost of customer acquisition and the LTV, I'm sold. That's all I need to know.
The LTV depends on you, right? The lifetime value of the customer is
No.
on how good the product is.
Yeah.
And how much more can the customer consume.
Yes.
Whereas you're
But
accessible.
how are you also doing retargeting?
Yeah,
How
like
are you
remarketing and retargeting, of course. But
Yeah, but this is the metrics, right? So if you think the business is really bad, then don't work with them. Because, man, I can't sell this. You know, then why would you engage with them just to take their business? Because then you're not happy and they're not happy and then everybody, they hate you and they say, these guys don't work. Exactly. Don't take it, right? So the thing is, like, if you can say, Saad, you spend 100 dirhams on Facebook, I got you 10 customers for that 100 dirhams. That means just 10 dirhams is your cost of acquiring a customer. Yeah. And each customer spends 100 dirhams on your website. Yeah. I'll say, okay, here's 100 more. Because it just makes...
It's a brainless decision.
Yes, but it's about how you sell that to the front customer. People don't know what CAC is. People don't know what LTV is. Right? It's a lot of education. Groceries didn't know what gluten-free was when I was selling it. Education.
Yeah.
Now
everybody knows.
Only gluten-free. Yeah. They want gluten-free. Menus gluten-free. Like, if it's not gluten-free, it's like a basic need. If it's not gluten-free, they don't want it.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
More of a fad. Like, everybody wants to just follow the...
But it's all about education, right? Yeah. So I think if you focus on that, it's important. Digital is great. I think... I think our displays inside groceries, they were fantastic. I think the gym displays that we got were fantastic. You can't miss us. You go to the gym every day. Every day you go to the gym. Every day you go to a coffee shop. Every day you go to grocery. We're there.
Wherever I go, it's there in front of me. So if I have an option to choose a bad one or a good one, I choose the good one, right?
But it's by design. Because I said, who is my target customer? And where does this guy go? Every day. So he wakes up. Okay. He gets out of his house, he goes to the office, he probably grabs a coffee in the morning. I want to be in Starbucks, I want to be in Pret to Go, I want to be in blah. Okay. Then this guy goes to the office, I want to be in the office pantry. Then this guy goes back down, probably to a cafe or a quick bite or a grocery. I want to be there. And then goes back to the office, then goes to the gym. I want to be there. Then fills gas in his car. I want to be there. And then goes home and sleeps. But I want to be throughout this, where is this person going?
That's called studying your customer avatar. Like, actually, this is how, guys, this customer avatar study is done.
Yeah, I was following.
Wherever he's going and she's going, and you touch the multiple touch points.
Yeah. And you need people in your company who are that person. So, for example, if you are targeting, I'd say, a banker, right? Get a banker to sell. Because the banker knows where he should sell. You are getting somebody who's an intern to come sell for you to a banker, they have no clue. They have no clue where the Goldman Sachs guy is having coffee. I'll tell you where he's having coffee. He's having coffee at Batil. Because I did that, I know. You know? He's picking up bites at Choitram DIFC, I know. Pay for the stand at Choitram DIFC. That Goldman Sachs banker is my guy. I need to hit him. Go into his pantry.
That's how much detailed study you need to do on your customer avatar and target audience.
I was stalking them. But you need the right people to help you with that. You know, it's just very easy to say right now. I can say that I did this, but it's very. You need the right people to help you with this. You know, and I also realized that for your team, people work with people. Yeah. I mean, at the end, there's like 100 companies that make food products, and they make cool food products. People don't say, oh, I joined this company because I love that protein truffle. They just say, I love the team, and I love to work with these people. After a while, the product also disappears from your mind because you're working now. Yeah. It's Excel, it's PowerPoint, it's driving, it's meeting. The product is gone. Like, you're selling it, but it's like not something that you see every day and you admire, and it's just your work. So it's like, I love working with Rashi, I love working with Saad, I want to work with these, I learn. I want to be with them. And I think that's what people also fail to understand, because, there's one of the guys on my team makes more money than me. Right? Because he deserves it.
What is that position, more than the CEO?
Sales director. Yeah? And I'm saying it now on camera, and he will hear it and he will know. He made more money than me. And I was happier than him when he made more money. I said, dude, you deserve it, man. Like, I'm so happy for you. You deserve it. And I hope you beat me again. Because people tend to take care of themselves and not the people around them. And I don't understand how that works, Yeah. Set the basis. And if you, as an owner, are coming from a Honda into a Ferrari, let the guy under you also come into a Mercedes. We have this habit that I want the plane, but this guy should stay in a Honda. Nobody wants to work for you. Everybody wants to grow themselves as well. Yeah. So there should be knowledge exposure, but there should also be financial gain. Absolutely. Right? And our guys, the top guys, they have stock options. They are owners of this company.
And that's one of my questions, actually. How did you introduce ESOP, employee stake options, for your company? And I remember talking about this with you.
Employee stock options is a very common practice of VC, right? Of startups. I mean, how do you attract the best people? So if I am Protein Bakeshop and I want to hire somebody from Google, this guy at Google is making 50K a month, I definitely cannot pay 50K a month, right? So what do I do? So I say, I will give you a salary of 20K, but I will give you ownership in the company, right? And if the person believes in himself, what he will turn around and say to you that, I won't take 20, I'll take 10, but increase my ownership. If he really believes in you and the company. If he doesn't, he says, no, but I don't want this, then he's not the right guy.
Oh, no salary,
yeah. Yeah, the guy clearly doesn't understand. The guy clearly doesn't want it. I sometimes negotiate salaries with people in my company. I say, okay, I want to promote you, I'm going to give you a higher salary. You know what they say? I don't want it. What do you want? More ESOP. I was like, I have to go to the board, ask for this ESOP. What's wrong with you guys? Where's the days going to be? Now is the time you want to give people money.
Yeah,
they don't want to take it. They say, no, I want ESOP. It's like, come on, man. What are you going to get? No, I want ESOP. I don't care about the salary. I'm happy. I'm making X amount. I'm happy. I believe in the longer term vision of this company, and I know where this company is going. And I don't want to make it now. I don't want to make 50,000 now. I want to make 5 million in 2 years.
That's better.
But when the guy says that to you,
you feel proud.
So proud. You're like, man, this is exactly what I expected from you. And I'm so happy you asked it. Unfortunately, I cannot make this decision today. I need to talk to the board. I need to talk to the investors. Give me time. Now this will take time. Yeah. Right? And so I think it's how it should be and how it is, and those are the right guys that
you should have on your team.
That you should have, but that doesn't happen at day one. You know what I'm saying?
It only happens when your passion is seen in the way the business is growing.
Yeah.
Because that's a foolproof, result you can see in front of your eyes to kind of take action. And how did Starbucks happen? How did you make that happen? Because that's a very big deal. It was a big deal for PBS.
It was my dream.
Yeah, I know.
Really,
you mentioned.
I think for any snacking startup or healthy startup or food startup as such, Starbucks is like the holy grail, right? It's like you made it, We really worked hard for it. Those guys were really kind. They were so nice. They really gave us a chance. We were so small. We were nothing, literally nothing. And they gave us time of the day. They sat us down. They discussed with us. They helped us. They guided us. A small box is actually because of Starbucks. They said, that, we'd like to have a small box. I know our customers are grab and go. This big box is too big. This small box, put it in the purse. They'll have 2. They'll finish. They'll throw it. 4 box, you can't eat all 4. You want to have 2. You want to keep the 2. This is not. Ours are grab and go, quick consumption. We want to have a 2-ball box. And we created a small box just for them, to be honest. They guided us. They taught me, And man, what a fantastic experience it's been. Like these guys
But
really,
how do you get in?
man, a lot of persistence, you know. You have to call, you have to try, you have to go meet them. I didn't have any connections. I didn't call like somebody who called somebody and then
You
did
kept
it.
knocking the doors.
Yeah, I mean, you have to. For everybody, I mean, not only for Starbucks, right? But they were fantastically good. They're responsive, answered me, guided me, helped me. Like, I can't even tell you. Like, I thought they would be like, I want this. No, they were very kind. They were very kind. And I couldn't have, and you know, usually the people are, they want to help, you know. And this, I don't know what they saw in me. I don't know what they saw in Protein Bakeshop. But they really gave us a chance. And once we started Starbucks, we honestly went from, what do you do again? Protein Bakeshop. What is that? Oh, we make chocolate truffles and we make this. We went to being, what do you do again? Protein Bakeshop. No way. Really? That's yours? Yeah. That was Starbucks. That was all Starbucks. And that glory was just because we're in 200 locations overnight. Yeah. You can't miss us, you know, and it's been great.
I remember you mentioning in a pre-meeting of the podcast. Remember, I'd come down to your office where you shared that Starbucks was your dream, and when that happened, you celebrated for one night. It's done.
It's
You're
done.
Like, this dream is done. So what should I dream next?
Yeah, I mean, it was also about fulfilling that dream, right? Like you dream Starbucks, like, oh, Starbucks happened, very good. You have to fulfill it. You need logistics, you need production, you need to be sure you're there, you're properly there, you're stocked, you're never, you know, it's work, it's hard work. You celebrate, you get happy, but then you get back to working, you know.
And in the bigger dream, now US Starbucks.
US Starbucks, man. US Starbucks would be fantastic.
How do you come up with these visions? Like, how do you dream big?
I think coming from an
How much big
entrepreneur
is big?
family, it's like if you want to travel first class, they say you dream of buying the plane. If you dream of buying the plane, you'll come to first class, you know. If you dream of being business class, you'll come to economy plus, right? So we just go full. Like, people say, I want a product in the grocery. We say we want to be the grocery. We want to be the whole healthy section in the grocery. There should be nobody except us. And if we have that dream, we'll probably come to half. Do you get what I'm saying? But if I have a dream I just want to be a ball, I'm just going to stay a ball. You got to dream of buying that plane. You know, and
I like this analogy. That's how you dream.
That's how you dream.
And you reach somewhere. Like, you dream of the stars and you at least land on the moon somewhere.
Yeah, that's it. That's the answer. People laugh. People laugh. When I told people Starbucks, they're like, Starbucks. You know what I'm saying? This guy Starbucks, like 4 outlets, he's gonna go into Starbucks. What a joke, this guy. And yeah, man. And it doesn't still seems like a dream. It's still like not real. You know, like I still feel like, wow, I see it sometimes like I can't believe this is mine. You know, I can't believe we did this.
The bakery company has reached here.
The bakery has reached here. Yeah.
So I guess now Protein Bakeshop is going global soon.
It's already global. I'd say 7 countries. I don't think it's global. Singapore, Pakistan, India, Kuwait, Bahrain, Oman, UAE.
Yeah. On the way to coming all over the world. You'll see wherever I go, I'll see Protein Bakeshop, and I look forward to that day. Touch wood. Touch wood. What are your strengths, you would say?
Oh man, I have a lot of weaknesses.
Let's talk about that.
Strengths are tough.
What is your weakness?
I think I'm a bit difficult. I think I'm very demanding. Yeah.
Demanding in what sense? Like, usually girls are demanding.
When I want something, I want something. When I want it, I want it. I don't want to hear no, maybe, but it's difficult. I just want it. I don't know. Can you do it for me? And if you can't do it for me, somebody else will do it for me. Can you do it for me? It's very clear. Yeah, you have to do it. But I don't want to hear but. You know, like that's the way I am. I just, I think I'm just like that. And I think I'm also very direct and cutthroat in a normal working day. Like I just say things as they are. And a lot of people appreciate that now around me because they know, okay, whatever he is in his heart, he'll just say it. He'll just say, man, this is bad and this is good. He won't sit us down and, you know, he just say whatever it is. Yeah, so some people who are very confident about their work love it. You know? And some people who are like not, they just think, they feel like he undervalues me, you know, he doesn't understand me, he doesn't see it, he doesn't see the hard work. You know, they feel like that, like he's so rude, he's so arrogant, he's so this, he's so that. But to be honest, in the time of the day, I don't have the time to sit down and talk 4 hours about one problem and take you through your emotional journey. Those days are gone. Now I just say, this is wrong. I want it done. Yeah, but that's plan. I don't want to plan. I want this. Can you give me? You go how you want to go and how I don't care. You got to get this for me. And don't call and ask me. I don't have time. You know what I'm saying?
This is a strength, no? Being transparent. Being just who you are inside out. That's a strength.
You could see it like that, but I think it gets difficult for people. Yeah. Some people love it, but some people really see it as like shit. Like I don't know how I can work here. So yeah, I think that's also a good thing. More and more people are becoming like me in the company, very cut, straightforward. This is it, and then we'll do it. And it's like we'll do it. Yeah. They've learned how to not say this is not possible.
Yeah. And that's the kind of spirit you need for a growing company like PBS.
Yeah, I told my guys, I said, I want Emirates. But, I said, what but? I want Emirates. I want to be on Emirates. You get me Emirates. So, okay, now they're trying. Right? They're not ready to, but you have somebody there that I can call. I don't want to share this.
Figure it out.
Figure it out. I want Emirates, period, full stop. There's no other thing under that for them. So now they're trying and seeing how we can do this and how we can, so it's fantastic. But I think that also is a bit intimidating, right, at the same time. That he doesn't want to hear no.
Yeah.
Who's this guy?
Scary also.
Scary,
I would be scared.
Yeah, scared. But some people, and like most people actually, most people in our company are also so good that they're like, Emirates, I get you this and I get you this and I get you that airline. Come wait. I'll show you. And you're like, okay.
That's, also belief in the product. When you believe in your service or in your product so deeply, no matter what, you can reach anywhere. Then you can reach the sky.
Man, I have to say our service is fantastic. If you call Protein Bakeshop and say, I had a bad experience, they'll not even ask you what. They'll say, we're sending you new boxes, we're sending you this. Is there anything else we can do for you? Tell us what you need, we'll do it for you. That's
how it should be like that, actually.
Gyms call us, we're having an event. We say, how many boxes do you need? We need this. Do you want sponsorship? Yes. Can we get you bottles? Yes. Can we get you some influencers? So like it's literally like we don't know how to say no. We are just like, we're with you. We're with you, we're part of you, we're not a vendor. Yeah. We don't want to be a vendor. Bring us a part of you, call us. What can we do? And we do it. We do it well.
And that is the future. Customer experience is the future. I know which conference did I go to recently. The more you take care of your customer, the more they'll want to work with you and do business with you. What are you missing out in life by working so hard on PBS or everything else?
That's a good question. I just wish I had a bit more time to get bored. I don't remember the last time I got bored, which is kind of funny. Right?
And that's so important actually for entrepreneurs and business. Like I go for long walks nowadays just to think, to be bored. Like bored is the wrong word, to get inspiration and to think and creatively open this box.
Yeah, you miss out a lot of family time. You miss out a lot of you time. Your friends are like busy traveling. Oh, we'll go for 1 week here or 2 weeks there, And you're like, you can take 1 week off. I can see you for 1 hour and then have to be back at work. No, it's
hard-working days.
Yeah, you do miss out on your time and spending time on yourself, by yourself. I just make sure I make time for gym every day, 1 hour for sure. But other things you
what
really
about hobbies? Nothing.
I love business, man.
That's the hobby, of course.
Yes,
yeah.
absolutely.
I remember
like small businesses, just working with them, growing them, helping them, building them, seeing them from an idea to something. It's fantastic, and I honestly love it.
It's like you're Warren Buffett for all these small businesses.
No, man, the guy is a legend. I'm just having
Inspiring.
fun. Yeah.
What's your morning routine like? It's becoming more and more common question across. I listen to a lot of podcasts, by the way. And everybody is asking everyone for their morning routines. Why, I wonder sometimes. Because not that your morning routine is going to suit mine, but it's just to be inspired what these big accomplishers or people who do these big things do with the morning exactly.
I'm not a morning person.
You wake up.
I usually wake up, I'm like, oh shit, I'm late. It's just like run here, there.
You're a night owl, so you work at night. You think you should be having a night routine then.
Yeah, I usually on just reading a lot, but not something specific. I just go down this rabbit hole of reading. You just right click, open new tab, right click, open new tab, kind of.
What are you reading?
Random stuff. Like I'm not focused on I need to read about this. Sometimes about design, but I'm not. I wouldn't say I'm reading what's the next trend. I watch a lot of Netflix sometimes at night. Yeah, that's cool. You just order some food, watch some Netflix. You feel really good, and I enjoy that time.
Poor
more.
brain gets a little time to shut down and just enjoy some movie.
Yeah. I don't know why people think that if you're successful, you're definitely reading newspaper in the morning, you're having a cup of tea, you're waking up at 5. No, man. I don't think so. That suits them, that's fine. That's their routine. No, I always wake up and I was like, oh shit, I'm late again. That's every single morning, And I try to watch some Netflix at night. I love Netflix, so I try to watch it. I think that's where I get my inspiration.
That's where the poor brain gets. Achha, Netflix is inspiration.
Yeah.
Movies.
Cool. What's going on? Look at this, how great cinema is, storylines, colors. I don't know, it's just...
The founder of Netflix, Mark someone, I don't know, recently came on Jay Shetty's podcast on Purpose. It's a fun one where he shares on how Netflix came about and they went to Blockbuster and Blockbuster said no. It'd be a fun one if you want to hear it because you're fond of... Do you get decision fatigue?
What is that?
You have so many decisions to make every day. So do you get a fatigue like, shit, I can't decide now? Because you're so much in action all the time.
I enable people to make decisions. I just say, don't ask me. Do it. Don't ask me, man. Why are you asking me? You think I care? I don't care. You should care. It's your thing. If I had to make the decision, I wouldn't have you.
So what decision do you make then?
I make a lot of the broader, bigger, higher level decision as to where is this company going, which direction.
Which
Southeast
next country
Asia,
are we getting into?
Products, what are we doing there? What are we doing about manufacturing? Very broad, If you're going to come and ask me about, by the way, that Starbucks is out of coconut truffles. I begged, please. Oh, should we do this grocery there? I was like, no, don't ask me. Make your decision. So it's mainly broader level product, and broader manufacturing, broader macro growth directions, budgets, a lot of macro stuff. I am making...
Micro is out.
Micros have enabled everybody. People make decisions in my company, I don't even know. They'll come and say, oh, by the way, I signed that contract with those guys. Oh, really? Yeah, okay, great. And you have to.
You can't be everywhere. You can't micromanage.
Yeah, and then if you have bad people and you're making decisions, then you don't need those people. You need good people, people who can just be I just did it for you, I've done. And I think that's the most important thing. So no, I make very high level decisions. What categories are we going into, for example, right? What macro changes is this company doing? How are we allocating budgets where? And then if I assign a budget, for example, I say, okay, for the digital budget is 10,000 dirhams. I'm just throwing a number. I don't want to now get into...
Where is this going?
You
decide the best.
Here's 10,000 dirhams. You get me 50,000 dirhams. You do whatever you have to. You want to put it in your pocket, you put it in your pocket. But get me that number. And then you decide, Don't bother me with this. So it's literally that's how I've learned to do it.
Probably that's the way to for the higher level, to think bigger things than to be in smaller ones. But that's why...
Yeah, but you have to have enough trust in your people, and you have to know that people have the capability of taking that decision, and that's where it comes to having a good team around you.
It all comes back to people.
It all comes back to people.
What inspires you?
It's such a broad question. Right now, I'm so into work. I don't even know how to answer this question.
Nature.
What inspires me?
Maybe I should...
Oh man, this is such a tough question.
Are there any people who inspire you, that you look up to? Other companies that you look up to that inspire you to reach those bigger dreams?
Yeah, I mean, all these tech companies that are out there, I really read a lot about them. Some inspire me, some don't. Some I have my reservations, but I don't know if there's... I can say this thing really inspires me. It's not coming to my mind right now. So I'm sure. Then I guess there's nothing that really comes this thing really inspires me.
Do you go for these tech shows in America and all these places? Nothing anymore?
No. I think, as you start, I think there's a lot more fluff in these shows than there is content. There's a lot of people there who are good to have there because their name holds weight. And I think a lot of stuff goes on behind the scene. A lot of it.
Everything is behind the scene.
Everything is behind the scene, I think, And people who need to meet and talk and get stuff done. Yeah.
I go for conferences and everything is behind the scenes. Nothing on the front is all. Do you listen? I understand you don't have time, so you should not be listening to podcasts, I guess, because I listen to a lot of podcasts. I'm like, let me ask Saad, what podcast does he listen to if you do?
I used to listen to 20-minute VC a lot. It's 20 minutes about venture, just to keep it updated what's happening. And these days I've been listening to Oprah Winfrey's podcast with Eckhart Tolle. About,
Super Soul Sunday.
About Power of Now and New Earth. And it's super inspiring. It's about how you have everything inside of you and in the now, as opposed to chasing something continuously. And that's been really inspiring for me. And I'm really enjoying and getting a newer perspective on things. It's a very different direction, right? I mean, there is no end. I realized if you make a certain amount, let's say 50,000 dirhams, even if you make 5 million a month, you will only spend 50,000, realistically. You can't spend more than that. You get a bigger 2-bedroom, you go from a Lexus to a Mercedes. Okay, what's that going to cost you? So it's really about where does this end, and whatever you're getting, you're really not using it. So maybe you should focus a bit on yourself. So I've taken a bit of that direction, sort of looking inside and seeing, if everything is inside of us, how can we take that side out? How can we work on ourselves? How can we become, more present, more emotionally available, love ourselves more, understand ourselves more, and enjoy the moments that we have around us, as opposed to when that happens, because there's never end to that.
Having your happiness to the future goal.
1 million is 10 million, 10 million, 100 million, 100 million, billion, 10 billion, 10 billion. There's companies worth trillions. That's never-ending journey when you go down that. So what's the point of that,
I think everything is now becoming more conscious business. I went to a entrepreneurs boot camp in America, by the way. And most of the talks were based on consciousness and how businesses can be more conscious. And
very different thing. It's about being environmentally conscious, I think. But this is about personal.
People how can you do more evolved business? Don't just do business to make money. But when you're making money, what are you doing with that money to impact the environment or help people or help societies? And even the way you run the business.
Vain, right? People also do it for vanity. I helped 5 schools. I'm saying something very different. I'm just saying that, appreciating your current circumstance, the moment around you. We're losing touch, We're losing touch because we're chasing something external always. That car, that business, that exit, that revenue, that. We're not focusing enough internal. I think that the lens should turn internally, and I've been trying to do that a lot. It's very tough. It's very, very, very tough because we live in a world that's all external.
Are you trying something like meditation or something?
Meditation doesn't work for me, but a lot of thinking, a lot of alone time, a lot of being with yourself, and brings you a very fresh perspective. Yeah, you realize you've never been with yourself, because every time you're bored, you call your friend, what are you doing? I'm coming. Because you can't.
You don't want to hear your thoughts.
Yeah. And that's scary, right? That you're scared of yourself.
Yeah.
So I think that's a journey that I've started to take and sort of focus a bit more on.
Yeah.
I sound like a 50-year-old, right?
Not really.
I'm just 30. I sound like a 50-year-old.
Isn't it amazing that you are coming to this conscious evolution way earlier than reaching that midlife? Because now that you're thinking about these things, you will live a better life. When you reach 50, maybe you're thinking of something bigger, better, doing better, impactful things. I don't know. It's kind of living a more evolved life than just living a fake life.
I think Instagram is making people more and more spiritual and conscious. People are realizing, this is not real. Yeah. Like this Instagram life and Facebook life, and everybody's a celebrity and we're not. And people started realizing that, this is not the way to happiness. Yeah. And a lot of people are coming back to discovering themselves and being happy with who they are and being happy with their flaws and being happy with their thoughts. And, and I think there is a movement I see now towards spirituality and self-discovery, and I think it's very important for us. I think it's about time. And I think our generation has seen so much drastic change. You know, we've seen from no mobiles to internet desktops to mobile desktop to Facebook, social media, you know, internet now,
Artificial intelligence,
artificial now,
augmentation.
freaking, you know, Instagram celebrities, now back to spirituality. We're seeing like this huge shift that's happening so fast, you know. Yeah, but I think this one is going to be good, the spirituality one.
It's very much needed.
It's definitely, people are disconnected, man. You see them
And sad and
you
depressed.
see their Instagram sometimes, and you can see insecurity written all over this. You know, you can see that they need outside validation to feel like they're somebody. Their egos are painted all over this Instagram. Look at me, I'm so big. Bow down to me, I'm God. You know, like, it's you're like, dude, you're so insecure. Like, what you want to like here? Double click. That's what you want. You know what I'm saying? It's written all over it, and I think people are realizing that, which is fantastic. I really think it's fantastic. I think more and more people should realize it. Yeah.
We have three favorite books that you would gift to others, or maybe one. It doesn't have to be three. It can be one or
There's
three.
one by Peter Thiel called 0 to 1. I think every entrepreneur needs to read that book. It's very, very good. It really helped me. It really, really helped me. And I think another one recently that I read it's called The Power of Now, and I think that is also very good. Like Eckhart told, it's very, very good. And they're both very different. One is just about pure business, one is just about pure yourself, and I think I would gift them together as a bundle.
You need to do both.
You need to do both. You really need to do both.
Yeah.
You have to do this consciously.
Yeah.
You know? So
Absolutely.
So yeah.
What's one magazine which is always on your desk?
None. My desk's like empty. I don't read magazines, man. I don't read magazines. I don't read generally.
Do you have mentors?
I have a lot of friends, advisors, but I don't see it as like this one person is my mentor. I have a lot of different advisors I go to for many different things.
Based on their know-how?
Knowledge, know-how, trust factor, you know. If I need help on product, for example, I know how I will go to. If I need help in my personal life, I know who I'll talk to. I don't know if formalizing them as a mentor is the right word, but there are definitely a lot of good, helpful people around me who I really appreciate, who I really love. And they've always been there. And but yeah, not that one person who I can say, that's my mentor. You know, I want to be like that. I don't have one. I don't have one.
Which local networks are you part of in
None.
Dubai? None?
No.
That help you grow or reach none? Okay.
None.
One advice you would like to give to startups and small business owners?
Oh,
Read
man.
these two books.
No, how would I just say, try building a sustainable business, you know, financially sustainable business. And not depending on this fundraising to say that I will grow when I fundraise. Try building a real sustainable business. It'll help you because you won't have urgency. You know, and it'll help you understand unit economics. It's something we've forgotten as an entrepreneurship generation, startup, is unit economics. That everything we sell needs to make money, every unit. The generation of Uber and WhatsApp and Instagram and all of them made us forget what unit economics means. You know, you find companies like Snapdeal and Paytm and stuff in India struggling. You find Uber struggling, saying, "Oh, unit economics don't make sense." That means every ride they do, they lose money. Right? We've lost touch of those things. So focus on unit economics. It's important.
And I don't know, I have one last question. What do you consider your most worthwhile investment of time, money, and energy?
Wow, man, this is so deep.
This is the last question I have from you.
Time, energy, and money.
Yeah.
Most worthwhile investment.
Yeah.
So I think there is just one thing out of this which we can't buy more of, probably, is time. And so, and other people's time. So I think what I've started valuing a lot right now is family time. Just spending time with my family. I think that time is never coming back. That time is going away. I need to treasure and value that. And it just doesn't have to be like, oh, we go here or we do an activity. It's just being around them and discussing. And I wish I could do that more. Because at the end, it's money and this and that, it just doesn't really matter. It really doesn't. I mean, if you have enough to survive, everything above that is ego. You know?
I think it's the programming that we are done. Like the more we have is the more better it is, and the more comes in the bank account, the more things you want to do, more luxury way. I don't know. And then there's no end, and then just keep. And especially in Dubai, I feel these weekends come so fast.
They
like
do,
you
right?
blink your eye and it's Thursday, Friday.
Yeah.
So I'm like, oh God. And I've come back already from my summer holiday, and it's going to be 1.5, 2 months. Like I didn't even realize. And I felt every day of my holiday. I went for a cycling trip and an entrepreneurs boot camp in America, and it was the whole day I was present, doing these activities, meeting people, like sitting by myself by the lake and thinking. Like I felt each day, and here, it goes.
Yeah.
So yeah, time is the most important
It
asset.
is. It's flying, man. It's flying,
In Dubai.
and we need to stop and see. Like, okay, this is flying. Let's stop and
Look,
Look.
where is it going?
yeah, let's stop and spend that with things that matter. Because going from 2 million to 3 million, spending 4 years behind that, and you still have to spend, 50,000 a month. What was the point? Right? You're not going to take it with you at the end. You're not. But that time is going, and it's the only asset. And I think we need to spend that wisely. We spend that with our loved ones. We spend that with ourselves.
And that is what we're going to take it with us, by the way. This
Yeah.
experiences with our loved ones and ourselves.
Yeah.
That is going with us for sure.
Yes, absolutely. So that's what I think is one thing that we should really do.
Awesome. Thank you so much. I really
Thank
enjoyed
you.
this conversation. I
It
hope
was
you did
fun.
as well.
No, absolutely. I did.
I enjoyed
Thank you so
asking
much
you
for having me. No, I
Pleasure.
really enjoyed it.
Thank you so
It went
much.
a very different direction, I think, afterwards.
Yeah, it's good, and that's how that's why if you notice my questions were from the beginning, and that's exactly where I wanted it to end, and I wanted to know what you're doing spiritually as well. So
Yeah.
yeah, I had a great time talking
Thank
to
you.
you.
Thanks for having me.
I hope you guys enjoyed the conversation as well. Please give us a thumbs up on whatever platform you're listening to or watching this podcast or this show. If you have any questions from Saad or myself, feel free to use the comment boxes below. And looking forward to seeing you in the next episode.